A beautiful Sunday in the great state of Arizona from Canyon to Shea as we continue to journey downtown Phoenix, Arizona to Chase Field, where indoors it is a Sanderson Ford Family Sunday. It's the Diamondbacks going toe-to-toe and looking for the sweep of the San Diego Padres. When you talk about what does it all mean, a 3-game lead on top of the San Francisco Giants. We'll keep an eye on the Astros and Giants throughout our telecast. Just know this, both Arizona and San Francisco were victorious yesterday. Hi, folks. A happy Sunday, one and all. This is Mark Grace. My name is Darren Sutton, and welcome back to the ballpark. When you talk about the Diamondbacks, 5 wins in a row, really piecing things together after they weren't, it's a funny thing, they weren't hitting on the last road trip, but yet their pitching got their hitting going, hasn't it?
No, that's exactly right. And to take it a little bit of a step further, Darren, in this 5-game winning streak, Diamondback starters have won every single game. In other words, they got the win, which means they put up zeros early in the ball game. They finally got the offense going enough. Then they held the lead. That is winning baseball. Then you hand the ball to David Hernandez, J.J. Putz, game over. So the Diamondback starters have been fabulous. How about an ERA of 0.53 in this 5-game winning streak? So you've got to give the credit to the starters.
And in the middle of it all is a young man like this, Wade Miley, making his second Major League start. It has you thinking maybe Arizona is in this race for the long haul. Josh Colmenter has had a great couple of weeks. He certainly has proven he is not just a sideshow, proven that he belongs. If you're going to win this division, you've got to hit, there's no doubt, but you better pitch.
Exactly. Wade Miley, Josh Colmenter, 2 guys that were minor leaguers to start this season, weren't even thinking of being in the rotation in the major leagues this year. So sometimes you got to get some good surprises, and certainly the Diamondbacks have had that.
By the way, Ian Kennedy, you're up today. The man who's in that race for the Cy Young Award. When we come back, we'll continue to set the scene for the Arizona Diamondbacks. First up, Ian Kennedy, but also a bit of history as the Diamondbacks celebrate their 10th anniversary of the 2001 World Series title. Well, wouldn't it be nice to get another shot at the postseason here 10 years later? The Moment is next.
And Game 3 sent the D-backs to Atlanta.
Once we got to Atlanta, things started to kind of roll our way a little bit. We didn't have to fight as hard.
A 1-2-3 opening inning for Schilling. He strikes out 2.
Schilling's 12 strikeouts in the day helped hold Atlanta to 1 run. But it was the offense who finally found its rhythm, led by the tenacious play of Craig Counsell.
That one hit down the left field line. It'll go to the wall. Counsell on his way around third. He'll score. On his way to third is Williams. They'll wave him around. Womack at second. Gonzalez at first. High bounce to third. Jones charging. Bare hands. Throw. And it gets by Lopez. 1-run score. Here comes Womack. He will score. And it's 4-1 Arizona. Finley, a base hit off the glove of Franco in the right field. Scores Gonzalez. Williams on his way to third. And Arizona now with a 5-1 lead here in the 5th inning. Curt Schilling 3 outs away from his 3rd straight postseason complete game. Swing and a miss. And the Diamondbacks take a 2-1 lead in his best-of-7 series. When we come back, the Arizona Diamondbacks' Ian Kennedy looks to continue to roll, make that run at the Cy Young Award. He has never lost to the San Diego Padres. The action is next. With your Players Club card at any Gila River casino and win up to $20,000 instantly. Right now, get to Jack in the Box, where you can come try the new Jumbo Breakfast Platter. It's only $2.99 plus tax at participating Jack in the Box restaurants. Southwest Airlines' new Rapid Rewards. Unlimited reward seats with no blackout days. Chase Field, downtown Phoenix, Arizona. Good energy in the building again, as it should be with a team in the heart of a pennant race. 3-game lead on top of the San Francisco Giants. And Ian Kennedy firmly in that discussion for the Cy Young Award. Buddy Black hoping to squelch his at least immediate hopes with a good game today. The one-time very successful Major League pitcher in his own right, Buddy Black. Let's take a look at his starting lineup, brought to you by Pepsi Max. Will Venable, Jason Bartlett, Jesus Guzman has been a pleasant surprise. Kyle Blanks, Orlando Hudson, an old favorite, Nick Hundley, Logan Forsythe out of the University of Arkansas, Andrew Perino, and then at the bottom is Corey Lubke. Let's play on this Sunday. Over the outside, misses low. We're underway at Chase Field. Gracie and I and Mark McClune, who will join us in a bit. Glad to have you with us today. The number is brought to you by the Arizona Ford dealers. 16 wins for Kennedy, as that has a 1-1 count on Will Venable. And because of the 16 wins, and though we know that wins and losses are at some measure out of a pitcher's control, that 3.09 ERA, if he can keep dipping that, he may move to the front of the pack in the Cy Young discussion as that one goes down the line. But he's been the Diamondback Cy Young Award winner.
Without a doubt. He's just been terrific. Don't know if, I mean, a lot's going to depend on how Ian Kennedy finishes. Obviously, if he finishes on a roll like he did last year, I mean, he's gonna get a lot of votes, and well deserved. He's been terrific all year long. And what has impressed me the most about Ian Kennedy, it seems like just about every must-win game that the Diamondbacks have had, he seems to be on the mound and he'll beat whoever he needs to beat.
You noticed as we talked in our broadcast open, as that changeup flutters out of the zone, that when that 6-game losing streak really reached a bit of a tipping point, when confidence was waning a little bit, he came out and pitched his tail off.
That's exactly right.
And that's what aces do.
Gas.
Swing and a miss.
We got a stomp early in the game.
Will Venable chases up and out of there, and Ian with a finish and a stomp. Let's take a look at the defense behind him. Colin Cowgill is in left field. Chris Young in center. Upton in right. Ryan Roberts with the double play duo. The new kids, McDonald and Hill, fitting in nicely. Paul is at first. Miguel Montero catches Ian Kennedy. John McDonald certainly has covered that ground very effectively, and some fine plays by Aaron Hill. Had to get out of the way last night of Justin Upton come charging in. The two communicated. Upton had one of those up and down defensive nights, but there are so many ups this year as he continues to grow. And when it was all said and done, the men in red were shaking hands, and that's all that matters. Oh my goodness.
What a
fastball.
pitch.
In on his hands. McDonald is there. We mentioned him a moment ago. He makes the play. How about this?
Just bully a fastball right in on the hands of Jason Bartlett. Jams him badly. And an easy pop up. 2 quick outs.
So now Jesus Guzman. Quite some time in the minor leagues, Guzman spent toiling and waiting for this opportunity, so he figured when he got here he better not waste it. And he hasn't wasted it at all. He crushes that one to left center field. Toward the balcony it goes. It's high off that balcony. Played nicely on a backup by Parra, who shoots it back in, I should say, Cowgill. And it is a double for Jesus Guzman.
That's one of those situations, Darren, where you're very fortunate that it is a very deep drive to center field here. You got to hit it 413 and then up about a 25-foot high wall. Fortunately for Ian Kennedy and the Diamondbacks, that one went about 23 feet up that wall, and it's only a double. You can see it hits just a couple of feet off that crow's nest out there. And all's well that ends well if you can retire Mr. Blanks here. Just about any other ballpark, that's a home run.
So now Kyle Blanks, fastball. Ian runs it in. 1-0 the count. As you mentioned, already get out to 413. Makes this venue so unique. As we enjoy the indoors on a hot day. Outside, a cut fastball. 2-0 the count. Well, you look back on that outing in Washington, and for Ian it was 7 shutout innings. A 2-0 win, and when his team needed it the most, they didn't hit much at all. They hit enough. But of the 101 pitches he threw that day, 80 were fastballs.
Truly amazing. Everybody thinks he's a finesse pitcher. In my opinion, that's a power pitcher.
80. Now, that's not including the cut fastball. He threw 5 of those.
Justin Verlander throws 100 miles an hour. He doesn't throw that many fastballs.
The 2-0, and instead a spin move. If you throw in the cut fastball, which is in fact a variation of the fastball, it was 85. He threw 10 changeups and 6 curveballs. The 2-0 fastball.
Oh, he challenged the big fellow right down the middle. Blanks, all he could do was take it.
He's got a runner in scoring position, has a base open. Ian does a fine job keeping runners from scoring. As that one is chopped foul. As a matter of fact, Ian Kennedy, opponents against him with runners in scoring position, hit 138.
That's all part of it. He bears down when he has to.
And where does he stand, by the way, amongst all major leaguers? He's #1 in the game.
The bigger the situation, the better he's pitched.
Again, in on the knuckles. That average just went down. And the Kirk Gibson skipper that last night as a manager, working through the losing he worked through. You saw that? I like that note. I don't want to lose that. Southwest Airlines brings you the starting lineup because I think it matters. Ryan Roberts, Aaron Hill, Justin Upton, Paul Goldschmidt, Miguel Montero, Colin Cowgill, John McDonald, and Ian Kennedy. Kirk Gibson with the win last night. Yes, it's a hitting streak, and he won't tell you it's about himself. But Kirk Gibson last night, again, with all the losing last year, became a .500 manager last night. And I say good for him with what he endured last year, cleaning up the messes that he worked on cleaning up, getting that room piece back together. He's now 108 and 108, and congratulations. He wants to keep adding to it.
In order to add to it, he's going to have to beat a very good young left-hander. I'm a big fan of this Corey Lupke. He can pitch.
Yeah, we're going to have to introduce you to the big fella out of Ohio State. Those hard, real hard.
You see the number 5.6, that doesn't near tell the story. A 2.91 ERA is more telling. 3-1 though, as he falls behind Ryan Roberts here to start his afternoon.
Padres' first-round pick in 2007, Lupke. Here is Roberts, a huge home run cut, came up empty, 3-2 the count. Roberts, since a day after Independence Day, which means July the 5th, is hitting .370 against left-handed pitching. Yep, he's doing that too. In this series, he's got 2 hits, but he's got 3 walks, and he continues to walk.
And when you can do that to lead off the game, all of a sudden now you put the opposing pitcher, well, you put him in harm's way, because now Aaron Hill and then the big boys, Upton, Young, Goldschmidt. Now he's going to have to think about Ryan Roberts, who is a threat to steal, and he's got to make some pitches. Also, Kirk Gibson putting Aaron Hill in the number 2 slot. I would imagine hit and run's got to be in the cards sometime. But right now you don't want to do anything like that, because if a guy is going to be wild, let him be wild. Don't send any runners until Lupke proves he can throw some strikes.
And Lupke, as far as finding the plate, that hasn't really been an issue. His walk total really low. His strikeout to walk is almost 4-1. So he trying to find that strike zone. Roberts career high in walks at 57. That's in. That's a breaking ball.
He's missing. And that's smart. Aaron Hill taking all the way. And also not pushing the issue right here is Kirk Gibson. You don't need to send runners if the opposing pitcher is going to be wild and walking people. And like you said, it's uncharacteristic of Corey Lupke, but This is a brand new day.
Lupke has sat for a couple of games and seen a Diamondback club with some sting in their bat. Playing with a lot of confidence. He's confident, though. He comes right down the middle, 2-1 to Hill. Hill in this series, 1 of 7 with his first Diamondbacks RBI. Justin Upton waits on deck. Drives that one into right center field. Well struck. But a little bit further down that bat, and there to make the play is Perino out there. Andy Perino. Justin Upton. His last 2 at-bats against this man on the mound have been long balls. Back on July 27th, that's the last 2 times he has seen him. You remember that, don't you, folks? And so away we go. Upton against the Padres overall this year has homered 5 times.
Somebody forgot to tell Justin Upton that Petco Park's a pitcher's ballpark.
Roberts driven back. Roberts, for sake of discussion, has 16 stolen bases. He's been caught 7 times. Upton in this series, a pair of hits and 7 tries, 1 of them a double. He's also walked once.
Good little slider there to jump ahead of Justin.
This young man, an all-Ohio pitcher. Marion High School, Marion Local High School in 2004 is where he graduated from. Not drafted, but then decided to go to Ohio State and pitch in the Big Ten outside. Drafted several times after that. The Rangers picked him. He decided to keep pitching. In his final year in college, he had a sub-2 ERA. That led the Big Ten by almost a run. This is the big leagues, though, and he deals the 1-1 inside, 2-1 the count. The one thing the Padres folks were telling us that when he was moved out of the bullpen, the thought was, well, he'll probably dip into the 80s. He won't throw quite as hard. Padres folks are telling us he's maintained that velocity, and that's a surprise.
It's hard to do when you're used to throwing maybe 15, 20 pitches in your outing. Now you're going to over 100, but yet you still have the same velocity. That's saying something.
Bouncing ball to the hole. Upton picked on an off-speed pitch. Justin was his 3rd hit of the series.
Now center field, number 24, Chris Young.
Justin Upton just bounds it through the left side. That's the thing about Justin, and I think you've noticed it too, Darren. He hits some of the hardest ground balls. I mean, just bullets through the infield.
And then you move yourself into a category when you talk about hard ground balls like, and I mean this respectfully to these players, but like Pujols is known for doing. Ichiro is known for hitting hard ground balls. Those are 2 guys that jump out in my mind. Chris Young on his bobblehead night, what a night he had. It was last night, and his last 4 games have been fun to watch. You can see the 5 hits. 2 of them homers, 6 RBIs. He scored 4 times. Starting to feel good about himself. Into the dirt it goes. And then there was last night. Picked on a high fastball, and he handled it.
That was all it took to make a winner of Joe Saunders, who threw a gorgeous ball game.
And Joe cashed in, took advantage. Time is called. Everyone steps out. Young's been walking a bunch. You know, now starting to hit, but you were telling us maybe that's okay when he was walking a bunch. Since late July, he's up there. Both he and Ryan Roberts in the top 5 since late July in the National League in walks. But he wants to hit.
Well, what that means, though, Darren, when you're walking, that means you're letting the wide ones go by, and you're swinging at the strikes. And that's the way you get out of slumps. Yes, it was a prolonged slump. But right there, that pitch is just off the plate. And he's not. That's a pitch that when Chris Young is not going well, he's swinging at that one and probably making an out.
And a lot of work with skipper Don Baylor along the way. Former skipper, I should say, and hitting coach to get it proper. You all know who the manager is around here. 2-1 the count. Up and away, 3-1 the count to Chris Young, patiently working himself through it. Paul Goldschmidt waits on deck.
That shot of Bud Black. See what you do to a manager when you don't throw strikes. You just stress out a manager.
You don't get close calls as well from the umpire, and you don't get fine plays behind you defensively, always.
Chris Young should get a good fastball to hit here.
Young this year hitting .293 when he's a left-hander. When he's a right-hander, that number's .217.
That was his pitch. That was the fastball to hit right there. He had a good rip at it, too. That's the same pitch he hit into the seats last night off of Aaron Harang.
Three and two. Roberts takes a big secondary. They're both off to the races. Swung right through, throw down, double play. And just like that, the inning evaporates.
Unfortunately, Chris Young swung at ball 4, and that led to the strike him out, throw him out.
Have you with us, our Kia text poll. Who should win the National League Cy Young Award? You vote for Clayton Kershaw, Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee, Ian Kennedy.
Who's yours?
Or Tim Lincecum. A, B, C, or D. 36929. 36929. As Kennedy goes back to work, I'll have an answer for you against Orlando Hudson. That one is a strike. A quick reminder, if you consent to receive a text message from Kia Motors of America, you'll in fact be voting. So they may be reaching out to you as well. So cast your vote. All right, now my answer. Clayton Kershaw.
Me too. And then also, but I want to also preface, still too early to tell.
There's plenty to go. They're all making a push. As that one is in, 1-0 the count. To 2-1 it goes. And we put together some resumes. You know, just basic stuff, some simple numbers. Didn't dig too deep for you to think about. Orlando Hudson, high fly ball, deep right field. Justin Upton going back to the wall. He can't get there. And Orlando Hudson has a home run. For Hudson, his 5th home run of the year. Switch hitter hit on occasion some big ones here when his uniform was red. It's a big one that the Padres needed, and they lead.
Fastball in. He just goes down and drives it out of here. Upton did all he could, but just not enough room. And back to the old drawing board, Ian.
Yeah, that's what he does. Comes right back inside. Another chance for McDonald. The Arizona shortstop makes the play. So 1-0 on the home run by Hudson. Some of the candidates in the very top level numbers. You see the wins for Kershaw and for Kennedy. Lincecum, his last 9 has lowered his ERA. He's been on an incredible run. He's got a 1.17 in his last 9. A 1.17. We thought about making this text poll: Kershaw, Kennedy, Lincecum, or a Phillies pitcher.
Take your pick.
Because Cole Hamels deserves to be really somewhere in there as well.
And Vance Worley might be better than all of them. The rookie at 9-1.
The 1-0. So those are the top level numbers. Things matter like the innings you pitch, the starts you make. Certainly guys that are a few steps behind in starts like Johnny Cueto and Ryan Vogelsong. Shot in the left field, and it's played on a hop by Calgill. A couple of hard hit balls in this inning. Logan Forsythe out of the University of Arkansas picked on a fastball. Kennedy sticking with that fastball. They're starting to look fastball. He's got a way, though, to locate them there. They might be looking for it, but they won't get it. I think it was Thursday morning that the nation woke up and started reading their sports page or online, and however they ingest their sports and follow it. And I mean the nation woke up and decided, accurately so, Tim Lincecum's in this Cy Young race after he had another big start. And his ERA, without Cueto, who just hasn't pitched as much as the other guys, outside of Cueto, he's got the best ERA in the National League.
And he'll have to finish strong, just like any of the other guys.
Absolutely. They all have to keep doing it.
But right now, he's not my pick. Clayton Kershaw is.
Funny, I think Kershaw doing it a year or two before folks thought he would. 0-2 the count, much to the chagrin of every team in the NL West.
Exactly.
The 0-2. Oh, he didn't get the call. What a pitch. Tried the comeback, or 1-2 the count. Andy Perino, small college, Lemoyne in Syracuse is where he played. Journeyed through the minor leagues for a long, long time. He's a 26th round pick. Finally gets his chance now. This is his first ever start in the major leagues. He's just down the road. I'm sure he caught a few Diamondbacks games on television. We say hello to Tucson because that's where he played AAA all year. Hit .315 down there. Breaking ball, did he? You bet he did. Mr. Perino, we'll talk more about him in a bit, but this time a curveball, a lot of fastballs. This is the hammer.
Yeah, down in Tucson they don't have curveballs like Ian Kennedy. This is a big time one right here. Starts in the middle of the plate. Perino can't hold up. It's good to see the Diamondback fans are voting.
We almost should have taken Ian out and just said, outside of Ian Kennedy.
That's all right. Good for you folks.
We love that.
Show support for the home guy. Speaking of showing support for the home guys, kudos to the Diamondback fans for showing up this series.
Good. Big crowds the last few nights. Great atmosphere. to the pitcher Lubke. He comes inside. While giving credit to these baseball fans, we've always known how good they are in this community. We appreciate you. And statewide, and even in New Mexico as well. But we also I'd be perplexed if folks didn't want to come.
Well, if you like good baseball, you kind of need to come, don't you?
Meaningful games.
Yeah.
1-2 the count. A home run by Orlando Hudson in the second inning. Started this second inning off. 2-2 the count to Lubke. We've seen all sorts of youngsters at the ballpark all weekend long. Inside, 3-2 the count. This is a fun community in the sense that a lot of folks are from elsewhere, and they'll say, my dad is a fan of, because he was from. You kids, you're from here. We're excited to have some first-generation Diamondbacks fans. Into the catcher's mitt it goes. Lubke goes down on strikes. Orlando Hudson. Boy, we used to love it, didn't we, back in 2007 when he did it? Not so much today. Family Sunday. Dueled an old Diamondback in Orlando, a rare home run. Certainly not a home run hitter, but when he hits them, it's from that side of the plate. Glad to have you back where Paul Goldschmidt leads it off. Miguel Montero bats second, and Colin Cowgill is due up third in the inning.
The number 44.
Goldschmidt, in his last 3 ball games, has 5 hits. Been on a nice little roll. And he hit one hard.
Last night?
I mean, certainly in both games. Cameron Maben took one away from him. Spider-Man'd him up against the wall. But he hit one really hard last night.
Yeah, the one last night made the first night ones look like a choir boy.
Frozen rope off that high wall you were discussing earlier. Curveball is away. 2-1 the count to Paul Goldschmidt. Lefties 5 of 17 against southpaws in his brief major league career. One of the 5 hits a long ball. Well, that outside corner doesn't exist.
Hasn't been there.
That'll be tough for Lubke.
Hasn't been there for him. He's wanting them, but Timmons has been pretty consistent. He's not giving it to him because, well, according to the tracks there, it's just off the plate. That's on the plate.
Oh,
that's
bet.
where you want that thing, Corey Lupke.
3-2 the count. Lupke last time out pitched really well against the Florida Marlins. Hot shot right to third. My goodness. Look at the reaction by Forsythe. Oh, my goodness, does he hit the ball hard.
Well, that's just rotten luck there for Paul Goldschmidt. He got a pitch to his liking, and he creamed it. I mean, creamed it. Unfortunately, Forsythe, trying to get out of the way of running from it, still made the grab.
Hang in there, young man. So, quick question then. That happens, and you hit one hard like that by hundreds and hundreds of times, and it was at somebody in your career. Immediately, when you're taking those batting gloves off, what are you thinking?
Well, I never took batting gloves off after that.
Back in there.
Oh,
beyond that.
Okay.
Roll to the right side. Orlando says, I've got it. You're putting your bat and helmet
you're
away.
Upset. You're upset.
Are you upset, but is there any sort of confidence, or are you just upset? Man, I can't wait till I hit against him again.
You're upset. You just got an extra base hit taken away from you. And somebody in the dugout will come up to you and say, either Paul or Grace, that was stupid hitting. Wow, stupid hitting? Why? Third baseman's just standing there for hundreds of years, and you hit it right to him. That was stupid. So that kind of makes light of it, and you feel better about it, and then you still want to punch the guy for standing there right in the way of your line drive. I'm not going to tell Paul Goldschmidt it was stupid hitting.
Oh, no.
I mean, you can't. You might box your ears. Somebody told him that, though. I can promise you.
2-0 to Colin Cowgill. 2-1. He'd love another shot at that one.
Yeah, that's a 2-0 fastball in the middle of the plate, and he was taken all the way.
Ball 4 of 26 against lefties. Hits that one high and deep to right field. Going back is Perino. A home run for Colin Cowgill, his first in the major leagues. $50 to the Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association. Here it is.
Congratulations, Colin Cowgill. Man, he just sits back and drives the ball out of here the other way. Plenty of room to spare. 1-1 ball game. Colin Cowgill, congratulations. Let's hope that's the first of hundreds here in the big leagues for Colin Cowgill.
That one in right center field, hit by McDonald, and the play is made out there by Perino. Congratulations to Colin. It's been a tough go of it here in the major leagues. Crushed that ball to right. Let the negotiations begin.
Field last night. Everybody held their breath inside the ballpark as David Hernandez struck in the right ankle by a line drive. He limped off the field, said he couldn't feel his foot as he hobbled down the dugout steps, but some good news and a sigh of relief last night and today as we learned it's only a bruise, a right ankle contusion. Hernandez got to the training room early today and said he did things to his ankle he's never seen before, but says he's fine. Even tried to jog a little bit pregame. Kirk Gibson relieved, pointing out that when his team is leading in the 8th inning, they're the best in baseball, and said he would try to stay away from Hernandez today, but made no promises as the Diamondbacks look for the sweep of the Padres.
Yeah, if it's a one-run game in the 8th inning, David,
that's
get up.
Exactly right. Thank you very much, Mark McClune.
Good stuff, Mac.
That's good news. That is a habit that Kirk Gibson cannot break, and I don't blame him.
I'll tell you what a job Brad Ziegler, though, came in, 2 on and 1 out, got out of that inning, and then handed the ball to J.J. Putz, and the rest has been history.
Second time through the order for the San Diego Padres. Will Venable looks at a pitch that is low, and so the count is 3-1. ENC's teams get a bit more successful second and third time through the order. Nothing dramatic. Good sink on the fastball there. Venable on a 4-3 ground out, 1 away.
Follow the Diamondbacks with MLB.com at Bat 11 for your iPhone, your iPad, your Android, or your BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch tracking, and video highlights. Even use the At Bat app to order food next time you're at Chase Field. Download At Bat 11 now or visit dbacks.com.
Well, it looks like that baseball will be a keepsake for Colin Cowgill.
Well, it has to be.
In exchange for some autograph items. Diamondbacks very good at making sure fans get that ball autographed by the player. And look at there's a handshake.
Handshake deal. I mean, there's no signed contracts out there. It's just handshake's good enough for us here with the Diamondbacks.
We're going to keep an eye on what he gets back at some point during the ball game.
And good for Colin Cowgill. You know right now he is just walking on clouds.
2-0 the count. Ian. Bouncing ball right there.
Nice play by Ryan Roberts.
Now, mind you, the reason it was a really good play, like Gracie said, he was having to cheat in. Looking in case Barlow would drop down a bunt. He was on the grass.
This is a hard hit ground ball, and in between hop, Ryan Roberts just stays right with it, swallows it up nicely, and makes the toss. Good sign here for Ian Kennedy, Darren. Venable, leadoff hitter, 3-1 count, ground ball to second. Bartlett, second hitter, 2-0 count, ground ball to third. Getting a little dive on that ball and getting some ground balls, especially when you're down on the count.
0-1 the count. Pitch is inside. Now this negotiation here in the end. Yeah, I got that ball.
Yeah, we got it.
I like that.
Little fist pump there. Did you notice that?
I did. I liked it. To the right side. That one is a foul ball. I'm told that's Brian White, head negotiator, Arizona Diamondbacks. Yep, Brian, you just got a bigger office. Yep, somebody's got to move. Oh, we have the guy coming on next. We'll get Brian a bigger office.
I think Brian was a little proud of himself. Yeah, as he should be. Got the right deal.
He runs guest services, and you know, in that title, that's not always a job that people are friendly and warm, but it's become a good give and take here with the Diamondbacks fans. The fan experience, a very, very important subject for this organization. So, Brian, congratulations. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string on a changeup, had him way out front. We need you at the ballpark. We might have some good ideas. Derek Hall is joining us. Ooh, he may be bearing gifts for you. 1-1 is our score in the heart of a pennant race. Mark Grace, we welcome in our boss, President and CEO of the Arizona Diamondbacks, Derek Hall. Derek, first of all, congratulations on the on-the-field stuff.
Mark Grace, heard a lot about it.
Nice,
None of us go down there and play, but you've worked very hard, you, the baseball staff. Heck, we saw Brian out there, part of our game day staff. Everyone's worked very hard. It's nice to see in the standings a reward.
Certainly is, and it's nice to see big crowds out here. Last night was a great crowd. This place was electric, and as we've said before, those players can hear you. They feel it, and it's nice to get those crowds coming out here. We're going to do 100,000 fans for a weekend series against the Padres. So that tells you they're starting to respond. They're starting to come back. It's nice.
2-0 the count to Ian Kennedy, and that is a strike. And there is a reason you're here, though. You've kind of put your heads together with all the folks that you work with, and you've got a kind of a gift, a reward to the fans?
We do indeed. This is as we've all been using the terminology, fight for first, as we're trying to win this division, this NL West division, and we're announcing that we have a new Fight for First package where we're offering all fans $5 tickets for the Colorado series upstairs. All upper deck tickets, just $5.
Really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
And fans can get those at the box office, by phone, or online using the code, the number 5, and then Bucks, B-U-C-K-S.
Well, that is fabulous. So that's this entire next series. $5 seats.
Every seat in the upper level.
Every seat in the upper level, $5. We want fans to come out here, cheer on this team. Numbers are not as great as we've seen this weekend, and you can understand why during the week and with school. But we're still hearing that a lot of fans are looking forward to coming out now as we're approaching September. And let's give them a little more incentive and more so a reward, because they have been good. And our fans have been great here the past couple of weeks, even though really the last month, getting behind this team. And so offer them $5 tickets upstairs. We're going to fight for first with them.
As a former player, I can tell you nothing gets the home player more fired up than about 30,000 strong, screaming and yelling and going haywire. It makes a difference.
No question. This is such a big month for us coming up, and we have so many games at home. We're lucky that now the schedule's working to our advantage. It was tough around the All-Star break. We had that very long road trip before the All-Star game, and then, of course, it was lopsided. We had more road games to begin with. That's what happens when you host an All-Star game. But then you see the benefits of having so many home games that second half, and you look at our final homestand, we're going to finish up on that weekend against San Francisco. And if we're still in the thick of this or in first, that's going to be a huge weekend for our fans. Then we finish with the Dodgers after that.
1-2 the count. Okay, so Thursday is September the 1st, and a player has to be on a roster to be eligible for the playoffs before that.
Right.
Is this club still open-minded? Is this club still out seeking the possibility of some sort of a move if it fits?
Absolutely. Yeah, the key there is if it fits. And we've been consistent all along that we have not wanted to give up our key pieces. There's Kevin Towers there, who's done a nice job of keeping those assets. We have these players that are now knocking on the door. They're so close to being up here and being a permanent part of our rotation.
Down the line, on the move, Ryan Roberts. He's walked earlier. He is on there with the double. So Ryan Roberts, his 21st double on the season.
He's something else, isn't he?
He sure is. He's energy.
He's a disturber.
He is energy. He's going to find a way to get on base.
And he just crushes a breaking ball down the left field line for extra bases. That's just kind of what he's done all year long, man. He's just been an igniter, be it defensively, be it offensively, be it taking on the Giants' dugout earlier this year. He's just one of those disturbers.
You know what I love, guys, about this team, and that's what you need with a team that's going to be a consistent winner, is that you get it from so many different people in that lineup and in that dugout. I mean, Gibby can run out different lineups night after night, and those guys are all going to play hard. There's a lot of heart in that dugout.
Timeout was called there by Nick Hundley, the catcher.
So back to your thought, too. The organization still, if they can, I mean,
sure,
you don't want to give away the top prospects, still in position to, if you need to add a little bit of payroll, not a lot of bit, but a little bit, still in position to do that?
Well, I can tell you, this week we were very aggressive with a few players, and just what they wanted in return, the other clubs, we couldn't do it, but certainly willing to take on more payroll. We've said all along we'll invest in this team if it also makes sense for our future. And, one thing we cannot do is get irresponsible at this time or impatient at this time when we do have so much talent right now at the AA and AAA level that are ready to play up here on the big league roster.
That's interesting. Take us behind the scenes a bit, because I think for me, in all the years I've been around this game as a ball player's kid and a broadcaster, a lot of times you don't see good communication. A manager will come in and, here's your player, sorry, deal with him. You guys have great communication. That being said, how many days leading up to the Kelly Johnson for Aaron Hill and John McDonald that none of us knew about it. Uh-oh, that one's deep left field. That one's spanked by Aaron Hill. First home run as a Diamondbacks.
I'm not going to answer that question yet. I'm going to take this in for a minute.
I don't blame you. This place is loud. Congratulations, Aaron Hill. Your first Diamondback home run. You know, I said it earlier in Washington. That's his first major league home run. All that stuff in the American League doesn't count. Boom, fastball, middle, head stays down. Watch, he swings through it, not to it. That's the difference between the ball going a long ways and a ball going just out to the outfielder, swinging through it. And then Sean Burroughs over there doing his shadow boxing with the speed bag.
Justin high fly. Into right center right away. He is erased.
Well, your question on Aaron and John was very
good timing with that.
Very
that
timely.
takes a few days, right?
It does take a few days. In fact, that was a conversation that KT and I had probably a week prior to that trade. It was an idea that he had to go get those guys, and just felt that it was time for us to make a move at second base regardless. Get Kelly in a new environment, get somebody else in here to play second base every day, and it worked out perfectly for both clubs. The way that Toronto is, they like to bring on players if they're out of it who can bring them draft picks. They cared a lot about those two players they sent our way. And, one of them, as you know, is considered the mayor of Toronto. So those are two very popular players that have now come our way, and they're thrilled to be in a pennant race. But it is, Aaron, it's something that we discussed easily a week before we actually pulled the trigger. Then you got to hope that their players get through waivers, which they did. And then you put Kelly on waivers and hope he doesn't get claimed by the time it gets to Toronto. So it's a conversation that we had that then in turn led to a conversation between their general manager and our general manager. And then once he got to Toronto's spot on the waiver wire, they claimed him, and they rewarded the claim, and we can make the trade.
Is Kirk Gibson in on this as well?
Kirk Gibson as well, absolutely. Yeah, anytime there's conversation about a player, it's consulted with Kirk Gibson and the coaching staff for the most part as well. Make sure it's a nice fit with the chemistry. He's got a good thing going down there. We talked about the culture and how it's changed. If we're going to bring in these guys, what will it do differently to the team? These guys, we did our homework, we did our due diligence, and of course, Gibby also spent time around McDonald earlier in his career. These guys are A+ chemistry-wise, so we knew without a doubt, you bring these guys in, we're going to have even better environment down there.
Since spring training, since the first day of spring training, Derek, you, Kirk Gibson, as that one's fouled back, you, Kirk Gibson, and anybody else that was involved in the leadership and the decision-making of the Diamondbacks been saying, we're going to win this year. We're going to win this year. And a lot of people scoffed at you, including myself, to be honest with you. Has this team surprised you at all?
Yeah, they have. They have. I thought, I was hoping we could be a 500 team. We felt like we had talent. We felt like the attitude was better. We felt like they were going to have a little more purpose. And being able to start anew, going into our new spring training home, that helped, turn the page. But, they've surprised me. I think the way they've performed to be in first place right now, if you had told me we'd be 3 games up and here we are double-digit over 500, you tell me I'd take that, you bet I would. I would have signed up right away.
And there's been some good fortune, not only here in the major leagues, successful baseball, but down trickling through the minor leagues where some good prospects are coming. You can look at Mobile. They're headed to the playoffs. First of all, I know you want to congratulate them, but my follow-up is, with the talent that is there, how delicately do you handle keeping Mobile and their franchise happy and getting the guys here you need?
That's always a tough one, but ultimately, you need to do what's best for the big league club, and they understand that. Affiliates know that, but they're very excited. They have probably the best pitching rotation in all of minor league baseball.
Goodness.
Yeah, I don't think they even have to take a bat. They just have to hope to get a walk, get them over, get them in. It's the old days of the Dodgers, right, with that pitching staff, but that's what they have, and they've all been pitching well. And you look at what Corbin's done and what Skaggs has done, and now Bauer's doing. That's a fun rotation, but you're right. There is a delicate balance, but ultimately we need to win at this level. That's why they're playing at those levels, and if they can help us, we're going to bring them up. But we're also going to be very careful not to rush these players, and especially this year. And what's more important is to get them through this year, get them some playoff, hopefully championship experience at the minor leagues, winning together, then get them into spring training next year and see if they can't make the big club.
President and CEO Derek Hall joins us of these Arizona Diamondbacks as that pitch is low. So people might have just turned on the set. I'm going to have you remind, and you can look at the fans and tell them about the special coming up with the Rockies.
Sure. Once again, we want fans to come out for the Rockies series. Every seat in the upper deck, just $5. You can buy them here at the box office. You can call 514-8400, or you can go online and use the number 5 and then BUCKS, $5. But $5 for every seat upstairs, and there is not a bad seat. If you've watched baseball on the upper deck, you'll love it. It's a great vantage point.
Well, you know what we've started to say amongst our traveling production crew? It's kind of our little motto. There is no bad seat in a pennant race.
That's right. And there's never been a bad seat in Chase Field. Wouldn't you say that?
I agree with you. Come on out, folks. It's a first place ball. If you like good baseball, if you don't like good baseball, stay away. But if you like good baseball, you need to be here.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of really good baseball being played here right now.
They've been playing it all year, and fans there was a lot of wait and see, but then you figure, hey, there's been 4 months of this good baseball now. You know that this is legit.
What do you think of the kid in the batter's box?
I think he's a big, large human being. He can hit the ball a country mile. I love him. I think he's a great kid. What surprised me the most is his glove over at first base. And Gracie, nobody knows better than you, but he's picking it.
He really is. I mean, he's come up with some, just beautiful plays. He's making the routine plays. He's making the spectacular play. And he came touted as maybe a below-average defender. I haven't seen it yet.
That's what we heard. Yeah, the scout said, hey, he needs to improve with the glove defensively, but, boy, he's been good over there.
3-2. Instead, he fires it over.
He has saved a lot of our infielders digging that ball out of the dirt.
And what that does is it adds to the confidence of your infielders. Come on, Goldie.
He's fun to watch, though. And you can see he's becoming a fan favorite in a hurry.
Oh, boy. He loved another shot at that one.
His bat, when he squares it up, Derek, his bat makes that sound that my bat never made. And, it's like a cannon shooting off.
Who's the first guy that ever hit one in the pool here?
Well, that was me.
You didn't square that one up?
It didn't make that sound. It kind of went, pooh.
Fights it off. That's the other thing we're seeing. The strikeout totals are still pretty high, and they'll tell you they're high. We're seeing more and more bats where he, as you educate us, Grace, he fouls off tough pitches and keeps at bats alive.
Exactly. And his strikeouts have been certainly higher at the major league level than they were at the minor league level. You expect that. But what I like to see, it's not just 3 and 4 pitch strikeouts. He's making the pitcher work. Sometimes it's 6, 7, maybe even 8 pitches before you strike him out. Don't know what the result's going to be here, but he's having a good at-bat.
The 3-2. Hot shot. Again out there at third base. Logan Forsythe, what are you doing to Paul Goldschmidt?
It's just unfair.
My friend, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Great job. $5, by the way. $5. And with the boss looking on, it's always good to do that. Now you're officially at Diamondback, Aaron Hill. The 2001 trivia question: which Diamondback had the most hits during the postseason of 2001? Bunch of hits, a bunch of players with a bunch of hits, but there was only one with the most. We'll have the answer for you in the next half inning. Ian Kennedy shot down the line, but Blanks opens up a little bit early, and it is a foul ball. 0-1 the count.
It's a well-located fastball in. If you get the barrel of the bat on the ball, all you can do is pull it foul for strike one.
Off the end of the bat. Stayed back nicely. Just shot it the other way. That looked like it was a cut fastball that stayed out over the plate, and he's talking to himself. Orlando Hudson. We saw some long balls. We saw him shoot balls out to left when he was a Diamondback. A lot as a left-handed hitter. He leaned on this one, pulled it.
That's his nitro zone, down and in. He loves the ball down and in. Ian fit to be tied about that one. And here we'll do it again. That's where you want that pitch. On the outside corner at the knees to jump ahead, strike one.
I mean, in that pitch, truly, he shaves the edge very effectively.
Well, that's why he's had so much success this year, Darren. He's just it's not just his stuff, but it's the location of his stuff.
0-1 the count. Consistent strike thrower. Out front. Rolls out a sinking fastball. Only play as he took a look at second is at first. They have quick feet to take that look, and a nice play by the gentleman who homered a moment ago.
Yeah, the ball's hit softly, and once Goldschmidt can't get it, he's got to scamper back. Nothing there. Take the out. Smart play by Aaron Hill.
Both teams have 4 hits. 3-1 is the score. Arizona Wildcat Nick Hundley. Fastball again, just too much for him.
Just challenged him right down the middle.
Don't forget, by the way, Gila River Casinos. We love Kachinko. Find out and learn how you can play right here at Chase Field. Go to the interactive kiosk near section 111 during regular season home games. Gila River Casinos. Right back out there.
Gorgeous pitch. 0-2.
Talking with Ian on this last road trip, in the conversation we had for you fans in the post-game show, he said, I will throw pitches with the next pitch in mind, 2 pitches down the road, or the next at-bat in mind. That's how much I'm starting to learn how to throw a pitch with a purpose, to set up other pitches. To the right side. Now
That's what Kurt Schilling used to do here. Just exactly what you talked about. No, I'm not comparing Ian Kennedy to Kurt Schilling at all. I'm just saying that was the goal of Kurt Schilling, was I'd throw a pitch to set up something maybe in the next at bat or maybe 5 days from now.
Pitches up 1-2 the count. And the most memorable part about that conversation that we shared with you is not that he said that, but how he smiled and grinned as he said it. In other words, it's a part of pitching that he always knew was there, but now he's starting to he's in another room now, if you want to describe it that way. Mentally, he's grown to another place. 2-2 the count.
Just fastball after fastball after fastball. In, out. He may have him sped up enough to go with something off speed here, maybe the changeup. Let's see if he throws it. He threw it.
Way out front, as you said. You asked for it, you got it. It was a fabulous pitch. Hundley goes down on strikes.
Well, he had him sped up all those fastballs. Now it's time to throw that devastating changeup. There it is. There's that Mr. Spock grip. I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. I can't.
And now put a baseball in there and throw it as hard as you can.
Good cutter for strike one.
Just a little dart over the outside corner.
There it is. There's that. They call it the Vulcan changeup.
Again, that's the ring finger and the middle finger, folks. That's not the index finger and the middle finger. It's right there in the middle of his hand. Curveball.
Curveball. Didn't get the call, and you can see the shoulders slump there from Ian Kennedy at Tim Timmons. Please call that a strike. I threw it. Awfully good curveball. Nothing doing.
He's thrown 5 changeups and 2 curveballs now. The rest, fastballs or cut fastballs.
Make it
There's
6
another
changeups and a dandy. I think Logan Forsythe got a base hit on a fastball his first time up. I mean, he hammered it on a line out to left field. So I think Mr. Forsythe's going to get a steady diet of off-speed stuff with a guy on second base and 2 outs. And this is where Ian's been terrific with runners in scoring position. Didn't get the call. Ian Kennedy, a couple steps towards the dugout, but it was inside.
So we'll do it again. 2-2 the count.
That pitch is inside.
So we think along with Kennedy, which can be a dangerous business if you're a hitter. The 2-2. Doubled up on it. Through the same pitch.
And to Forsythe's credit, he fought it off nicely and lives to survive another pitch.
Took a changeup. It is. Grounded out to Roberts. Glove out front. Throw off the bag. An error on Ryan Roberts.
Yeah, that's the mistake there by Ryan Roberts. Was he just took too long to throw the baseball. If he gets it across the diamond, Goldschmidt's got time to catch it and make the tag. Watch how much time he takes to throw the baseball. And that's all it took. Now Goldschmidt can't make the tag. And Ian Kennedy's going to have to get that very difficult 4th out here.
Yeah, he, in this inning, has thought about walking off twice. He thought he had a called strike 3, fine with that, but he was walking off on that one. So you got to dial it right back up. Andy Perino. And that one is outside to Perino. Andy struck out back in the first. This is just his 3rd major league plate appearance. Northeastern, New York born and raised. State of New York. Change up.
That was up in the zone, but just the lack of speed got Perino to swing through it, and he had a mighty rip at it. But he was way out front. Oh, what a pitch to the inside corner. Oh, didn't get the call. Goodness. Yeah, Ian's going to have to take a walk on that one. Like, where do I have to throw this baseball? That looked like a strike to me.
Well, on that side of the plate, that side of the box. Yeah, you bet it looked like a strike. Home plate umpire Tim Timmons on that side has not given a strike either from the lefty Lubke.
Now it's 3-1 because of it.
Now you have the pitcher waiting on deck, but you also have a hitter with, again, 2 major league plate appearances. So,
and the other thing that error behind him does is just adds to the pitch count. These are just extra pitches here in late August that Ian Kennedy's having to throw. Gas right by him, 3-2. That's the good news that it's strike 2. The bad news now, with a 3-2 count, the runner on first is going to get a running start.
The right-hander rocks and fires, popped it up. Into center field. Chris Young got it. And Ian Kennedy picked up his teammate Ryan Roberts. question. Steve Finley with 19. Mark Grace had 14. Tony Womack was 17. Luis Gonzalez, Reggie Sanders, Matt Williams, all right there. 14, 13. On down the list. Don't forget, reunion weekend, the 9th through 11th. Throwback uniforms, fireworks. 01 team comes back. Replica ring giveaway on Saturday. 9/11 tribute on Sunday. It is going to be a great weekend. All those hitters I mentioned will be there that weekend. And by the way, you might need to make a decision soon. You know, go ahead and get your calendar set, because tickets, I'm told, are going pretty fast for that weekend, because it's going to be fun, but this team's in a pennant race. The following weekend, too, with the Giants.
Big swing and a foul from Miguel Montero.
0-2 the count.
Boy, he aired out there.
To the count. Montero this year still doesn't like southpaws. He's hitting below 200 against left-handers, 303 against righties. Swing and a miss, and down he goes. Well, it's time for our Nissan key to the game.
Oh, you're going to love this one, Darren.
Mm-hmm.
It's nut cutting time. All right, so here we go. Aren't you going to ask me about it?
I figured you were just going to tell me.
No, I'm waiting for.
Wow. What does that mean?
There
I do not know.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Darren. Corey Lupke, the starter. He's from Ohio State, as you mentioned earlier, and they're the Buckeyes. You know, that's a brand of nut. So you gotta cut into him today. You gotta
cut him right off the
put
branch.
him right in that nutcracker. You know, the British soldier-looking nutcracker, just bam, right on top of the head.
I like that.
Yeah, it's nut cutting time.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
Well,
I knew you'd like that.
I'm glad I'm asked what it meant.
I'm glad you asked.
Pitch is high. 3-1 the count. Colin Cowgill, he had a basket full of those Buckeyes, and he crushed them. And he drove one out to right. Had to feel good. His first big league home run. 3-2 the count.
There. First big league homer right there.
Goes the other way again, and he's rewarded. So a home run and a single, both the other way. That Padres defense running around out there. A very big, oh, by the way, the Padres defense brought to you by David Robleski and Associates. We love our partnership with David and his firm.
Got that fourth inning defense today.
Well, that's why you're seeing it now. Here's John McDonald. McDonald right away fit in from day one that he came in.
Well, Lukey and Kennedy looking in at Tim Timmons like, man, where do I need to throw the baseball today? Tim Timmons, that's nice and cozy indoors here. We'll just stay a while.
And that
Ball one.
That side of the plate has not been a strike side.
Ball two.
The 1-0. In and out of the catcher's mitt. 1-1 the count. It was a whirlwind day when they were traded on this last road trip, arriving in the midst of what was a team trying to find itself. Both Hill and McDonald flying in. Day of game, they landed at the airport, took a cab to the stadium, saw their name on the board. Popped that one into the seats. Our Geico quote ties into that. You can tell everyone's excited for the game to start. Talking about winning. It's an easy atmosphere to fit into. excited for the game to start and talking about winning. I said this the other night. This club, of the Diamondback clubs that you and I together have covered, they talk more baseball than any other Diamondbacks club I've been around.
Well, it's probably not much different than back when I came over after 13 years with the Cubs. All of a sudden I come over, ended up being a world championship team, but it was like, boy, the aura in this clubhouse is all about winning, and anything else is unacceptable. And it was kind of refreshing.
McDonald back to the screen. Now, big picture, the numbers for McDonald have to be pointed out. He was getting hot in Toronto. Now, a guy that doesn't play every single day. We know that by now. But coming in, he had 23 hits in his last 65 at-bats. That clip he was on for 2 months almost, that's 350.
That's fabulous, especially for a guy that can defend the shortstop position like he does. Stays alive on a good slider.
Don't forget, anytime the Diamondbacks score 6 runs or more, Taco Bell gives away 3 free tacos with a large drink purchase from 4 to 6 the following day. Very nice welcoming him.
Another East Coaster. Oh,
it's not
really,
there.
Oh, really. John McDonald very fortunate to still be in there. By the way, all the folks on the East Coast, thoughts if you got family back there, thoughts are with your families. I mean, it's earthquakes and hurricanes back there.
So the at-bat stays alive. We'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Donald now makes his winter home, still back in the Northeast. Born and raised in the area. Enjoyed Toronto, is really embracing this opportunity. Runner goes, and we'll roll on.
Calvo got a good jump there, but protecting the plate all the way. John McDonald. Too close to take, and he fouls it off.
Outfield shallow for McDonald. Swing and a miss.
That's a foul ball, I think.
I just got a piece of it.
Or did he?
No, did
no, he didn't.
So right over the top of that one, he goes down on strikes. So McDonald 0 for 2 with a strikeout now, and here is Ian Kennedy. Ian settling in, and we do know this about Ian.
What's that?
Well, that as a hitter, he's a really, really solid Cy Young pitcher. I mean, he is a great contender for that Cy Young.
He got a couple of hits his last start in
he's
Washington.
Starting to hit a little more. The pressure's on him. All his mates seem to hit.
Between Joe Saunders getting another base hit last night, and of course Daniel Hudson, he's swinging the bat so well.
One 1-0 the count to Ian Kennedy. Pitchers know by now, Kennedy and Lupke, they can kind of talk with one another down the road about having to work through a smaller strike zone today. That one right at the knees. And there is kind of a peer pressure for Ian because the Arizona pitchers are #1 in average, right around 200, #1 in hits, #1 in homers, and #1 in runs batted in. He's starting to come around. He's got 6 hits this year. That pitch is high. What you like, and it doesn't call for it now, is he's a good bunter. He's got 8 sacrifice bunts.
You're right.
He doesn't strike out a bunch. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
Right through it. Took a good rip at it, but he's just a little tardy on those fastballs from Lubke.
Lukey last time out tossed 6 innings, gave up just 1 run to the Florida Marlins, didn't walk a batter, and won 4-3. Pitch is low. 3-2 the count. He does have a pair of doubles this year. And I'm talking myself into the fact that he's pretty serviceable as a pitcher with a bat in his hand.
Better of late. Terrible earlier in the year. Improving.
I mean, like Doug Davis and Brandon Webb? Swing.
Well, no,
he doesn't go.
Not near that bad.
How about that at bat?
No, listen up, folks. College football is back on Fox Sports Arizona. Thursday, ASU takes on UC Davis. The action gets underway at 6:30 with the Sun Devils live pregame show presented by Taco Bell. Then, on Saturday, it's an interstate battle in Tucson when the Wildcats take on the NAU Lumberjacks at 7. ASU, U of A, and NAU college football action only on Fox Sports Arizona. Can you believe it's football season already?
Yeah, the time has flown by covering a winning team as that calendar just keep flipping and flipping. It's been a very fast and enjoyable summer. Yes, I can believe it now that we've talked about it a lot. Ian Kennedy, Ryan Roberts. Ian draws himself a walk. Guys like Roberts and Young have been walking a bunch. Swing and a miss. That walk from Kennedy just has me thinking, how good have they been? Well, since late July, the Diamondbacks, led by guys like Roberts and Young, have the 3rd most walks in the National League. The patient Diamondbacks.
Wasn't that way the last couple of years at all.
Bounces on the ground after he broke his bat. That's an easy out. So Roberts comes up empty. 3-1 the score. Unable to add on. We roll on to the 5th. That's a big number. That's what unfortunately eliminates guys like Ryan Vogelsong and Johnny Cueto. They just don't have the work. He's been good again today. He's thrown 68 pitches, and that is a strike. 1-1. And both pitchers have had to navigate through a smaller strike zone.
Had a good rip at a fastball in the middle of the plate there, but all he could do is foul it back, and he's 1-2. Oh, baby. There's a stomp. Ian Kennedy knew he released a perfect curveball there, and this one just locks up the bowels of Corey Lupke. Yikes! Yeah, there's your stomp.
As part of our Fox Sports Supports charitable initiative, we're proud to help Stand Up to Cancer in their work to fund groundbreaking research. For more information, visit standuptocancer.org/Fox Sports. 1-0 the count. That one sails outside to Will Venable. Venable struck out in the first inning. He grounded out in the third. Roberts even with the bag at third. Change up. 1-1. Houston and San Francisco still in a pitcher's duel. No offense up there in the Bay Area again. That game now into the seventh, bottom half. Astros 1.
That's
Giants
a shock.
Nothing. Another low-scoring game with the team that is chasing the Arizona Diamondbacks coming up empty. This time it's Bud Norris who's given up one hit for Houston. Matt Cain's been good, but one run.
Gas.
3-2.
3-1 fastball right down the middle and right by Will Venable.
The 3-2 pitch.
Gas.
Got him with a high fastball. He chases up and out of there. That is 7 strikeouts for Ian Kennedy.
Just above the belt. Venable can't lay off of it, and it's just by him.
CenturyLink, high-speed internet, high-speed pitch. Lukey, Kennedy, both 93 miles an hour. Here's Jason Bartlett. Line drive left center field. It'll roll all the way to the wall. Thinking about 3 and knowing his team is down by just a pair, he stops right there.
Just first pitch ambushing right there is Jason Bartlett. He got a fastball in the middle of the plate first pitch, and he didn't miss it. Boy, whack. Now pretty much the biggest power threat in the lineup, and that is Jesus Guzman now with an opportunity with runners in scoring position. But once again, this is where Ian Kennedy has just been so good, better than anybody in the National League this year with runners in scoring position.
That average has been below 150, and he keeps it there.
Good change up to start him 0-1.
Outing after outing. Knowing Guzman would be a little bit aggressive, he dials it back to Jesus. The 0-1. Instead, a quick look back. Guzman had a tiny bit of time in the big leagues with the Giants back in 2009. Only 20 at bats.
Just missed the inside corner. 1-1.
Good dive under the swing of the bat. 1-2 the count.
Right at the knees, right on the inside corner. Just beautifully executed. Let's see if the crowd can get behind Ian Kennedy for this final strike.
Guzman hit .332.
A few people are starting to get after it.
The 1-2. Change up, ground ball, foul ball. So we'll do it again. As we were mentioning, Guzman had a big year in the minor leagues, hit .332 in AAA. Shortstop John McDonald was almost standing directly next to Ryan Roberts a moment ago, doing a little bit of housekeeping. Cleaning that dirt up. Now he goes back to his position. Line drive. He cleaned it up right there, so Roberts will get a clean hop.
Nice play, Ryan Roberts saving a run.
What a play by Roberts. A bolt. Indoors, Aaron Hill, the pride of Redwood High School in Visalia, California, and LSU. Hill drove one out of here, and a big part of this ball game right now is the first pitch is a strike. Back in the third inning, he leaned on a fastball.
He did that a lot a couple of years ago in Toronto with 36 home runs in a season. Certainly fell a long ways out of that tree last year and this year. That's the difference in this ball game, though, right there. That two-run home run, a long two-run homer off the bat of Aaron Hill.
Hill received, as that one is a fly ball, well struck center, but underneath it. Hill received MVP votes that year. I mean, he finished, they tally up the MVP, he finished 12th in the league. That's the kind of year he had a couple of years ago. He finished in the voting amongst the likes of Alex Rodriguez 10th, Bobby Abreu, and Hill got the same amount of votes. Mariano Rivera right there, that's the group he won. Joe Mauer was the most valuable player. Here's Justin Upton. Kennedy and Lupke starting to turn this into a better pitcher's duel. Lupke has played his part. Kennedy has had one clean inning. In other words, a 1-2-3 inning. That was in the third. Lupke hasn't had one yet.
Yeah, both guys have been in the stretch quite a bit today.
Fastball misses outside. Upton this year, and he'd love to support his starting pitcher, has been better against right-handed pitchers and lefties. Swing and a miss. Good off speed. 2-2 the count. And you see the difference. Although, you know what jumps off that page for me? He's still slugging it against lefties. Not that time. Fastball in, good pitch.
The fight for first continues. If you're not a Diamondbacks season ticket holder, get registered today for the postseason ticket purchase lottery at dbacks.com/postseason. Online only, dbacks.com/postseason for the opportunity to buy postseason tickets. Postseason, Darren.
Well said by you.
Postseason.
Here's Chris Young.
Come on, get a little excited up here.
Pitches high, 1-0 the count. It was a good read.
Thank you. I enjoy reading postseason reads.
Who doesn't enjoy that? What, Matt Williams kind of sidestepped that ball.
You know what, Matty's his skills down there at third base, coach, as far as fielding ground balls, they're spiraling downward. He's done a heck of a job down there this year, though, hadn't he?
Oh my gosh. Broken bat roller. Base hit. Still not a 1-2-3 inning for Lukey.
Flying down the line, Chris Young. That's how, because of his speed, he should be able to get a few of these a year. I mean, he's just getting after it. Yeah, he's liking that. Eric Young's liking that too, the first base coach for the Diamondbacks. Now steps up Paul Goldschmidt, who needs to quit hitting the ball to Logan Forsythe at third base.
He has been public enemy number one. As you mentioned earlier, he had a line drive to Forsythe, who caught it running away from it. Yeah, and then he had a hard ground ball that Forsythe made the play on.
Diving play. I mean, just two bolts down the third base that Forsythe he's had an answer for both of them.
1-0 the count to Goldschmidt. That's, by the way, a Texas v. Arkansas battle, though Goldschmidt, Texas Southern, as that one is high. The man up there at third, Forsythe, played his college baseball, I should say, as a Razorback.
What's Texas State's mascot? Do you know?
Texas State.
We'll have to find out.
Had it in my noggin a couple of games back. I'm told that Texas State is the Bobcats.
Bobcats. Okay.
Down in San Marcos, Texas.
Well, I know it's in San Marcos. Yeah, Baxter will be happy with that.
The 2-1. Pitches outside.
Good take right there.
The count.
Just lays off a breaking ball on 2-1 that's down. A lot of youngsters would swing at that pitch and it'd be 2-2.
The 3-1, instead he fires it over. Really playing him to pull on the infield. Outfield straight up. 3-1. Bouncing ball again out to Forsythe. And he ends the inning. Now that one wasn't hit it hard. News from San Francisco. The Giants deliver a shot over the bow. They lead it 2-1. Here it's 3-1. points. Enroll now for the Fry's Diamondbacks Rewards program and earn points by buying participating items at Fry's Kia Motors. To learn more, visit phxkia.com. All right. We welcome you back.
What do you got?
I'm told sweeps are sexy these days.
Well, they are.
No matter what
They're
place
always
you're
sexy.
in. First or last place, they feel good. Especially when you're in first and when you know that the team that is continuing to knock on your door that wants to keep the pressure on you has done so. San Francisco leads Houston 2-1. That game in the 7th inning. Swing and a miss. And there's some pressure on Mark Grace as well, folks. Don't kid yourself.
What?
I'm told it's a 3G weekend, and Luis Gonzalez was a winner.
That's right.
The legendary Hall of Famer Joe Garagiola, a winner.
Well, the Hall of Famer, I'm certainly going to bow down to, but that might be Gonzo's first win since like April.
Yeah, he has had an awful year with regard to wins and losses.
Yeah, he needed that one last night. That didn't stop. That wasn't he needed more than a Band-Aid for that hemorrhage.
2-2 the count to Kyle Blanks. Well, where I was most disappointed, I mean, did a great job as an analyst, but he couldn't buy a win in Atlanta. Just loss after loss after loss. The 2-2. Out front, popped it up. A 2-2 changeup. Not fair. Golly.
Well, this is where you want a changeup down around the ankles. And Blank's just way out in front of him. Just an easy pop up to start the inning.
Kennedy against Orlando Hudson. First pitch swinging, popped it up. He beat him with a rising fastball. Colin Cowgill in and out of the sunlight, peeking in. It was shining on him earlier when he homered. He makes the play in left. As a matter of fact, Hudson is homered too. And now Nick Hundley. 2 starts ago, Kennedy may have been a bump in the road that you look back on, and it kind of disappeared. Even though it was a loss, he pitched before a long rain delay against Philadelphia. He went 3 innings, and he couldn't stand tall out there. He gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, an eventual loss, but he didn't pitch after the 2.5-hour rain delay.
Which is kind of a stinky loss, you know what I mean? When you only have 3 innings to do it, and then 2.5 hours of rain comes, and you can't come back and try to right the ship, and it ended up being a lopsided loss to the Phillies, but he pieced it right back together his next start, didn't he?
And he was great at Washington. Cowgill, come on in, put it away. Kennedy with a 1-2-3. He's standing tall today. He continues to do so. You bet.
Buford Pusser, walking tall.
3-1. Long balls have been a part of the story this afternoon in the second inning. Cowgill the other way. His first home run in the major leagues, and keeping with the theme of firsts, Aaron Hill, his first as a Diamondback.
First National League home run as well. A bomb out of here to left field. That's been it. Both pitchers been terrific. Ian Kennedy, as expected, and Corey Luebke, honestly, I think as expected for him, too. This guy's a good one.
Yeah, he's hung around very nicely. He has kept his team in the ball game. Unfortunately, he has dueled with Ian Kennedy, who has been solid again today. When you look at Luebke, even 2 starts ago, as the breaking ball is a strike to Miguel Montero. 6 innings, 1 run against the Marlins. 2 starts ago, 6 innings, 1 run against the Mets. They moved him out of the bullpen. They moved him into the rotation. And in his 11 starts, San Diego, a losing team overall, is 7-4. He pitches, the Padres win. Fly ball, Montero center. Crowd into it, but he's shy of the track. So we saw the home run ball that sailed out. We saw the negotiations a bit. Colin Cowgill will have a keepsake. Mark McClune standing behind it. He researched it. He dove into it. Luebke is done. When we come back, the story of the home run ball.
The Padres with the Arizona Diamondbacks leading 3-1 after Colin Cowgill's first big league home run. Now, I made the trip out to right field and got to the bottom of the negotiation. That is Mike Straub, the man who made the catch on the Colin Cowgill home run ball. The negotiation was swift. He actually just traded the ball for another ball to be signed by Colin Cowgill. He said the ball is probably more valuable to him than me. If he hits another couple 100 home runs in the big leagues, he might negotiate a little harder, but it did prompt a cheer from the crowd out there. Mike Straub with one of the plays of the game, guys.
That's a classy man.
Thank you, Mark McClune, and good for Mike. He'll have an autographed baseball, and you know what else he'll have? He'll always have a story to tell about that baseball.
Right.
As Cowgill will. Ernesto Frieri comes on for the 48th time this year. Opponent's hitting just .236 against him. That pitch misses low, but as you saw that first batter efficiency, it's Colin Cowgill's time to cash in. His approach this afternoon, a home run to right field, but he's also singled to right field as well.
He got one up in his wheelhouse and had a good rip at it.
He likes high fastballs.
Yeah, he likes the ball up.
Banging himself on top of the helmet.
He's got a lot going on, doesn't he? He might have that little guy on his shoulder that talks to him.
1-2 the count. He is energy plus. Bouncing, my goodness, knocks it off Frieri. Calgio's having an incredible day. Far and away best day in the big leagues, and it's not even close. And he has had to have a bunch of down days when he arrived with a great resume. Not today.
What I like to see from him is not only the home run, obviously, but then a hard hit ball to right field for a base hit. Now this, right back up the box with 2 strikes. And he can fly.
He will always, unless something dramatically knocks it off the top spot, have the slide of the year as a pinch runner in Philadelphia to beat Roy Halladay.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
The slide of the year. He had lowered that shoulder. He was going to take out Ruiz, but Ruiz took a step forward, so it was just a dive and a slide around the tag. We always know that he slides hard, aggressively around tags. Had one earlier in this series. Slow curveball locks him up. 0-1 the count. Colin Cowgill as he stands there at first. In his first 22 games in the major leagues, he had 7 hits. He's got 3 today.
No, good for him. And there's nothing worse than coming up here and just feeling like you're not contributing. And it was killing Colin Cowgill. He's contributing today and then some.
0-2 the count. Into right field off the end of the bat, racing. Still coming on and able to make the play out there is Perino. So 2 outs in the inning. Here we talk about the Giants and trying to find the way offensively. They managed to score 2 runs. They lead 2-1 in that game in the 8th inning right now. San Francisco, since August the 4th, is hitting .168 with runners in scoring position. They're averaging a little bit over 2 runs per game. And in their last 22 games, they've scored 3 or more runs just 9 times.
That's ugly.
It's
ugly baseball, but it won a world championship. What can you say? I mean, so it can't be too ugly. I guess it just means you pitch really good.
Still about a run less this year offensively, though. I mean, they didn't hit much. Swing and a miss on the move. Beautiful. Beautiful throw and tag. Now Ian Kennedy's got to lead off the next inning. I think that sums that up. Michael, glad to have you with us. The Diamondbacks have leaned on home runs from Cowgill and Aaron Hill. And they've leaned on the right arm of Ian Kennedy. He has been good again. The right-hander competing for the Cy Young Award, but more importantly, competing for his team. This town, this state, has continued start after start in a pennant race to be one of the best pitchers in the National League. And it is a beat goes on kind of day. He's got 8 strikeouts, the right-hander, and he pours a fastball in there. Pitch number 92 on the afternoon. Inning comes to an end. Now Kennedy will have to lead off the next inning. As Colin Cowgill took a shot at a stolen base. And on across, Logan Forsythe is erased. What's going on here? Looks like, oh boy.
Hey!
The Houston Astros have tied things up against Matt Cain in San Francisco. They've got a couple of runners on to boot right now with 2 outs.
That's Matt Cain still on the mound for the San Francisco Giants.
Oh, and 1 the count.
Gas right by him. Belt high.
But to finish the thought, with Cunningham, former Diamondback, waiting on deck. With 2 caught stealings today, the Diamondbacks have been caught 46 times this year. That's more than any team in the National League.
And a careless stolen base there. With the pitcher up, go ahead and stay put. Good pitch to the inside corner. Go ahead and stay put where you are. And because of that, now Ian Kennedy will have to lead off the next inning. Colin Cowgill, I love the aggressiveness, but there's a time to dial it back as well.
Curveball. He was walking on him.
Kennedy wanted that one, didn't he?
He was walking.
He's been a little frustrated all day with it. It was awful close.
But looked out. I mean, an ace thinks he needs a corner, and I don't blame him. The 1-2. Oh, my.
Goodness gracious, that was right at the coconut. What's going on with that?
Again, the arm angle for me looked a little bit lower. Almost threw that one sidearm. Dropped that back leg. 2-2 the count. And that's what the result was.
Golly.
Rushed off on a changeup. 3-2 the count. Andy Perino.
He's gone from 0-2 now to 3-2.
Line drive, big league hit number 1 for Perino. So congratulations to Andy. A lot of you folks watched him play a lot this year in Tucson and AAA. He worked awful hard to get here.
That pitch is down. Pitcher's pitch there. He just goes down and hits a 1-iron into right field. And I think Ian Kennedy got a little upset at the non-call he got on the 0-2 curveball.
Sure.
And because of that, he ended up going 3-2 and then had to come with a fastball. And Perino hit it. And congratulations to him. Hit number 1 in the big leagues.
Aaron Cunningham pinch hits.
Gas. Come right off the bench and just get one blown right by you. As you can see, Brad Ziegler getting warm. Without any David Hernandez, I would imagine this afternoon, you're going to see Ziegler possibly next inning. Yeah, if there's much trouble after this, he may see him this inning, but that'll help.
Long run out front of a changeup. Cowgill is there, and he makes the play.
Well, Cowgill does show some good closing speed out in left field, doesn't he? Really comes in on the ball very well. Got a good jump and an easy second out here.
Don't forget to join Fox Sports Arizona in our support of the Amen Zone Foundation, fighting childhood obesity by bringing a 10-week physical and mental training program into communities. The Amen Zone. Visit foxsportsarizona.com. Swing and a miss. He's been told that he will be given the day. He has, in response, told his manager, I'm good to go today. Andrew says again, you'll be given the day. Unless I have to have you. 0-1 to Venable. Pitch is low. Since July the 2nd, that man sitting down in the bullpen who will have the day off in all likelihood has been fabulous. It was a pretty clean shot last night at the ankle.
Ow. That's a big man. And you can see it was a direct hit. And that hurts. Fortunately, nothing was broken. You were thinking Jason Marquis the whole time. 1-2 now with another fastball right there.
Since that July 2nd, David has a .87 ERA. The only two relievers that are better in Major League Baseball, their names are Kimbrel and Ventures.
Well, what a 1-2 punch that is in the 8th and 9th inning for the Atlanta Braves.
Well, how about it being included in that bunch? The 1-2. Hoping to get a chase, didn't get it. 2-2 the count.
This could easily be Ian's last inning. He's trying to finish on a high note here. Pitch number 106 coming right now. Make it a good one, Ian.
2-2.
He made it a good one, but Venable was able to spoil it with a foul ball, and we'll do it again. No time for guesswork. Montero and Kennedy. They've had a real good rapport this year, haven't they, Darren?
And they had to work on it.
Absolutely. It wasn't that way always last year.
No, they had a disagreement. They used the media in doing so. Said it at the time. Not everybody agreed with what we said, but I loved it. Boys will be boys. Have your talk, work it out, and grow closer. If you have any sort of character and fiber, you'll grow closer, and they both do, and they have. The 2-2. Line drive. Cowgill runs it down. My goodness. That's right, Ian. Woo! West Airlines new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats with no blackout dates. CenturyLink. Quest, it's now CenturyLink. Visit CenturyLink.com to learn more. Three to 1 is the score. Glad to have you back with us. Ian Kennedy in that dugout. What an outing he had in this ball game.
He's done.
Taking a look ahead at the upcoming Colorado Rockies series, and a quick reminder, if you hope to come, all upper deck seats are $5, making things a little bit easier. Hudson, Miley, Colementor. We will see how it all stacks up. Top prospect, Mr. White from the Cleveland Indians, coming over the Ubaldo Jimenez deal. Honestly excited to see what he's all about. He had a tough one his first time out. A chance to spend some time yesterday with Jim Tracy, the manager of the Colorado Rockies, out doing the Dodgers-Rockies game. And he's excited about Mr. White. Where they are, though, these Rockies. And they today, did they hold on to win that game? They're winning over the Dodgers 7-2. Anthony Bass takes over. Faces Sean Burroughs. Burroughs will go to work with a bat that he's been leaving up in the dugout a lot, or up in the clubhouse. Keeps forgetting to bring it down.
Why's that?
It's the Chase Utley bat.
Oh.
He's got 3 of them, and he always forgets to bring it down. He's got it now as he gets ready to go to work. Utley left him 3 or 4 bats. And he homered with one.
Well, I wouldn't forget him if you're slugging homers.
Change up a dandy. Well, we've talked to Sean. He can kind of go from here to there. He's a little bit excitable. So maybe something distracted him, and he ran down to the dugout to be with a teammate and forgot the real bats he wanted. The 0-1. In on the hands. That bat didn't treat him well that time. Burroughs is erased. A little bit more on that man, Mr. Burroughs, disappointed in himself. He certainly wasn't as a Little Leaguer as the Little League World Series wraps up today. Mark McClune, what do you have?
Yeah, he was quite the pitcher back then. 2 no-hitters leading his team to the 93 championship. They're dodging rain, of course, back on the East Coast, trying to wrap things up today. But I talked to him about his experiences, and he talked about just how good his team was, how sound they were defensively, and they didn't show up to the park until 6 o'clock for a 7 o'clock game. And, they really went out and dominated in 1993. But his favorite times were actually off the field with his team, the sneaking into the kitchen late at night. And his dad was his coach. And one of his favorite stories was when the entire team evacuated a hotel. One of his teammates pulled the fire alarm on their road to Williamsport. And they had to evacuate a hotel and almost got kicked out of a hotel, a bunch of 12-year-olds. So coaching them a little tougher off the field than on the field.
Thank you, Mark McClune, and certainly memories he will never forget.
I never had the guts to pull the fire alarm, especially when I was 12. Like, I still don't have the guts. Well, because now you'll,
go to jail.
Go to jail.
Pay a big fine for having those men and women that protect us come on out for no reason.
Yeah.
1-2 the count. Into the dirt it goes.
That's Sean Burroughs. He's a dastardly one. Pulling fire alarms.
I think it was Sean's buddy. I don't think it was Sean listening to Mark McClune. Sean would never do that.
Of course not.
The 2-2. Line drive. There to make the play is Logan Forsythe.
He's everywhere over on that left side, isn't he?
He really is. Doing a nice job playing. Look at him. He just tried to break his bat on his helmet, and he decided against it. Here is Aaron Hill. Oh, and 1 the count, Aaron Hill. Hill popped it up. Long run, still coming. A little bit of good luck for Mr. Hill. Let's see him run. He's flying. Heading to third. Aaron with a Texas League triple. Hey, why not?
Andy Perino. He got his first big league hit in the last inning. But this time he makes his first big league mental mistake, and that's diving for a ball he really had no chance of. Instead of now 2 outs and a guy on first base, it's 2 outs and a guy on third base. And Aaron Hill, like you said, just a little pop just inside the right field line. Now, let's go to the races. Go to the whip, Aaron. Go to the whip.
One and oh, the count.
Yeah, with 2 outs, go ahead and give him a single. But don't give him extra bases where now a single will extend the lead.
1-1 the count. And how much would a harmless little single mean here?
Yeah, just a ground ball out to Will Venable in center field would just be wonderful.
1-1 the count. Little chopper out front of it. So the count 1-2 on Upton. Now Justin today, he singled a hard ground ball between shortstop and third back in the first inning. Also fly to center and struck out.
Oh, he got a hanging slider right there. Took the swing he wanted and missed it. I mean, oh, baby. Whoa. Whoa.
The 1-2. Good pitch, fastball, locked him up over the inside corner.
That's what happens when you miss the mistakes. The next one's usually not a mistake.
Sunday, the Padres and the Arizona Diamondbacks. We brought you on the air talking about starting pitching and its successes over the last 6 games. It was a 5-game run. That run has continued, a .66 ERA. And note that the previous 5 starters actually earned the victory. They received the decision and they earned the victory. Not a bullpen win. But at this point, a win is a win. And we will hope that it will hold right that way, and we'll see what occurs as Shaw goes to work for the 16th time this year. Opponent's hitting .273 against him. Done a nice job with the runners he has inherited. But this is a clean situation. 1-0 the count to Jason Bartlett.
And what Brian Shaw has to come in and do is just come in and throw strikes. Make him swing the bat. Don't give any free passes. You're six outs away from a sweep, and unfortunately he's fallen behind 2-0.
Quite possibly the most athletic man in the lineup today is this man, Bartlett, for the San Diego Padres.
Ball 3.
Yeah, with Hernandez, David unavailable unless it's really a pinch. Guy who pitches, it feels like every single day, or at least with every single time there's a lead. Good pitch, cut fastball. Well, some different guys have to do the job for Kirk Gibson. Kennedy, by the way, leaves the ball game. 7 innings, 1 run earned, no walk, 7 strikeouts. Ian, as that one is on the ground, ranging, diving. McDonald can't get there. He'll follow it. Just to make sure, McDonald tried to do all he could, but just could not make the play. So Bartlett is on. But Ian Kennedy, to finish the thought, has an ERA of 3.03 on the season now. 3.03. Jesus Guzman. Pitches outside, 1-0 the count. Doubled back in the first inning, struck out swinging and grounded out to third. San Francisco Giants game is still tied at 2. Giants and Astros. It's now the top of the 9th inning. Shot, foul ball. Goldschmidt was on it, but it's a foul ball, so 1-1 is the count.
Well, you love a guy that he'll give you that kind of effort even on a foul ball.
Blanks waits on deck. Arizona trying to sweep these San Diego Padres, with the Rockies due in next. Outside, 2-1 the count. 8 pitches, 5 of them have missed out of the zone.
When you fall behind late in the ball game, it's very dangerous. You risk walking people, and also you become a one-pitch pitcher. And that's when these guys in the middle of the order like Jesus Guzman can tee off. He's got to make a quality pitch here. He did. 2-2.
The Rockies next, and it's a tough road trip beyond belief, going to San Francisco, where the Giants are waiting, and then to Denver, Colorado, which won't be a walk in the park. You can see the Giants. They have the Chicago Cubs and the Diamondbacks, and they go to San Diego. The 2-2. Outside, 3-2 the count.
Nobody warming up in the Diamondback bullpen, so this inning is Mr. Brian Shaw's. Got him with the cutter.
All right, Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning Cool plays if you're just joining us. Long balls. And that's the reason this team, the Diamondbacks, has the lead. A couple of long balls in this game. First in the big leagues, first as a Diamondback, Cowgill and Hill. There's your offense.
Blank's a guy that can hit a mistake a long, long ways. Well, that one right in on his belly button. He just fought it off. Well, you love it when a big guy like this takes a defensive swing on the very first pitch of the at-bat.
And that had a different look, that fastball. It wasn't cutting away as it usually does.
That one kind of ran in, you're right.
That's really an opportunity to be effective to grab that part of the play. Out front, that was a slow breaking ball. Popped up a mile high. The aforementioned Aaron Hill makes the play. 2 outs in the inning with no David Hernandez working.
This is a slider. It stays right in the middle of the zone. As you can see, that is just right in the middle of the zone, but he took enough off of it to get the big fella out in front and pop him up. So quickly, Brian Shaw pieces it together after giving up a leadoff base hit.
And now Orlando Hudson.
He's been the offense for the San Diego Padres. A solo home run all the way back in the 2nd inning. That's been it.
Outfield plays him to the opposite field as the cut fastball runs in. Very shallow in left field is Colin Cowgill. Very shallow. Upton playing the hitter, if he pulls it, a lot deeper. One and one the count. Tied Orlando up.
Well, that's a cutter at 94 miles an hour. I mean, that is a beastly pitch.
We saw him get in the hole on this recent road trip in Washington, D.C. and touched 95 with the cut fastball.
I mean, that is cutting in. Boy.
Shaw.
Going to bully right back inside with it.
Didn't get the call. But that part of the
Pretty
plate
good pitch.
has not existed as a strike all day.
And Orlando Hudson, you know, he will not swing at that pitch. Orlando likes the ball out over. He does not like the ball in. So if you're looking to get that call, you're going to be looking for a while.
2-1. Outside, tried to frame up a cut fastball. 3-1 the count. Hundley waits on deck. Roberts even with the bag at third. In. Good pitch, called foul. It hit that grass and took a kick.
That's a bad break for the Diamondbacks because this ball was fair all the way. Then it hits the cut of the grass and the dirt and then just shoots into foul territory. Watch this. This is a fair ball all the way, and it hits right on that cut and skips foul. So instead of being the 3rd out, now it's just the 2nd strike.
Runner will go. Clinging to a 2-run lead. You hope the equation is bullpen behind Kennedy for a victory. Runner goes. The pitch hit on the ground out to Hill. That's an easy chance for the new second baseman. Shaw, fine job piecing things right back together. can hang on your wall. The three Kennedys.
Like a ghost.
Don't forget, Fox Sports Arizona viewers, a special opportunity Tuesday. Anyone who purchases at least $50 worth of the 01 World Championship ring raffle tickets during the Diamondbacks-Rockies game will have a chance to win the authentic ring, but also receive the autographed print.
You could be that for Halloween. You could be Ian Kennedy for Halloween. Just kind of wear that around. Halloween's just around the corner.
Well, it's close, but it's still August. By the way, the sign behind home plate, next batting practice. You see that? It said next batting practice 2012.
They're following along. That's good. Whoa, just missed with that one, did Bass.
2-1 the count. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, she's following along. I like that.
I'd like to make that gal a bet. Really enjoyed that $5 I won in D.C.
But you know what? Kirk Gibson took a lot of heat in the middle of a 6-game skid where you're not hitting squat. No batting practice. Since then, they've clicked off 5 straight. Oh, dear.
And they're continuing to hit deep and down the line, but foul. And I mean just foul.
And it was killed. That was out there in Justin Upton territory. Hey, he got a souvenir and saved his beverage. Oh, just a little bit foul. Well, that ball was killed.
Three and two the count. Rolled out to short. And in time for the we want to send out a big happy birthday.
To who?
Out to a friend of this show, friend of the games, and a guy who's actually scouting, watching this game, scouting for San Francisco. We want to say happy birthday to Lou Piniella.
Oh, well, Lou. There's my old manager, Jim Riggleman. He's also working for the San Francisco Giants.
Lou, 49 again this year.
I'm glad to see my old skipper. Got him a nice tablecloth and made a shirt out of it.
Wait a minute now. Here's Colin, or I should say, you threw me off, Paul Goldschmidt.
Ah, there's my old skipper.
That's a great
Jim Riggleman
shirt.
right there.
You don't like that shirt?
Well, I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just glad he found himself a nice tablecloth.
The 1-0.
Cut a few holes in it, and he's wearing it well.
I think that's exactly what you're saying. You know, you could use that Ian Kennedy growth chart as a tablecloth.
I suppose you could.
The 1-1. Into the dirt it goes. Well, here's hoping the right situation for your old manager presents itself again, because he was a big part of the reason of the successes early this year in Washington.
He was a big part of my career, too. I owe that man a lot.
Two and two the count.
I just hope he gets to manage again, because he deserves to.
J.J. Warms in the pen, looking to lock this game down. Outside, good take. So anyway, hello, Mr. Piniella. Thank
Happy
you
birthday, Lou.
Thank you for joining us in our viewership. Off the plate, and it's a foul ball. You know what Lou loved, by the way? He loves homers.
Really? Yeah.
I'm sure he would have loved Aaron Hill's homer and Colin Cowgill's homer, but I'm guessing, Lou, if he were managing this team like Kirk Gibson, I need some more runs.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing here.
Paul Goldschmidt, go ahead and slug another homer here. Let's see if JJ can get a little padding out there for this save. Nah, baseball is just not the same without Lou in a dugout.
I miss Lou. 3-2. Outside. How about a walk?
Good at bat there by Goldschmidt.
A one-out walk for Goldschmidt. You know, these are those professional days for him where he's growing. He's got an 0 for going. And let's be honest, it could be a frustrating 0 for. He's had base hits taken away, hot shots. He didn't overswing, didn't come out of his body there. The one thing I bet Lou Piniella doesn't miss, having to make those walks to the pitcher's mound over and over again. We'll step aside. 3-1. Oh, you bet. Yes, Energy All-Star Ian Kennedy, fabulous again. His ERA on the year nearly in the 2s now. Just a tick over 3, 7 innings. And Kennedy hopes that when this day is done, he will be a 17-game winner. Tough ball goes to work. Joe Thatcher is called upon since Mike Adams was traded to the Texas Rangers. This Padres bullpen has had a different feel to it. With Adams, an ERA of 2.79, the hard-throwing right-hander, #1 in the National League since a little bit over 4, so that's near the bottom.
He throws across his body, coming out of the right field foul pole, does Joe Thatcher.
Miguel, just a pair of hits in his last 25 at-bats against left-handed pitching. A little confidence boost for all the things he has done so well lately. Continued throwing well this weekend. Loses the bat as it breaks. Good effort by Hudson. There's your infield hit. Montero throws the bat away. The handle into the bat anyway. Jammed in there. Now there's a hit against the left-hander.
He'll take it. Sometimes you just got to hit it in the right spot. As you see, the bat flies. Thatcher ends up with his fanny towards home plate, so he can't make the play. And everybody's safe as Goldschmidt hustling into second base. Nice effort there by Orlando Hudson, but as you can see, Goldschmidt beats it easily. And here comes Buddy Black out to take Thatcher out of the ball game.
State of Arizona. Up in northern Arizona, now the call to the bullpen answered by Eric Hamrick. On for the 10th time this year. Colin Cowgill has had one of those best day evers. You guys have had him before. Everything seems to be as you hope for. Your breakfast tastes good. Things go well at work. He's so far having one of those best days ever.
Yeah. Breakfast, lunch, and something good here for dinner, and I would imagine he'll sleep very, very well tonight.
He has homered. He has driven a ball to right field for a single and one right back to the box for a single. And that one sinks over the inside corner. Boy, talk about a different look.
There's all kinds of nonsense coming out of this San Diego bullpen, isn't there?
Kevin Towers kind of laid the foundation down how he wanted it done when he ran things there. Different looks. The 0-1 in. Eric, initially a Chicago Cubs draft pick. This is his major league debut. Zach Duke goes to work out there if there are runs added on. Released by the Cubs this past winter and signed a year later with the San Diego Padres, as that one is outside. So Hamren continues what has been a unique journey. Last year, Independent League Baseball. Boy, how about shooting right back to the major leagues and taking advantage of things? He was pitching in independent leagues last year.
Now here he is in the big leagues. Oh, good breaking ball there on a 2-1 count to even it up.
He is making his major league debut after starting this year in High A. And then he moved to Double A his minor league season on .96 ERA. So he has earned the opportunity. Two and two the count. To right field again. Oh, the best day ever. Colin Cowgill gets it done. A 4-hit day for Cowgill.
Colin Cowgill having a monster day. Starts with his first home run. Ends up with his first 4-hit game. 4-hit games don't come along very often, folks, but it just came along for Colin Cowgill here this afternoon. Big add-on run there. Chris Young and the rest of the fellas feeling good about things. They'll congratulate Paul Goldschmidt as he gets back into the dugout. And the Diamondbacks extend the lead.
Infield drawn in for the San Diego Padres. Breaking ball is a strike to John McDonald. This inning all started with a guy who could have been frustrated and over swinging because he had hits taken away, but this started with a walk to Paul Goldschmidt.
Exactly right. Now an opportunity for John McDonald to add on. And that would probably mean, I don't know if this is deep enough.
Oh, boy.
Oh, what an unbelievably bad throw, but he stays at third base, does Miguel Montero, as Kyle Blanks threw a hot air balloon into home plate.
What a big add-on run. What a huge add-on run. You wanted more, but what Cowgill did, every hit to right field, that includes using the middle of the diamond. Had not pulled the baseball today, Cowgill. And so McDonald ticked off with himself. They will intentionally walk Lyle Overbay.
Wow, walk a pinch hitter to get to a guy that's already had 4 at-bats. That's interesting. I guess it's just the old left-handed versus right-handed thing. I've always been a big believer in, Bobby Cox taught me this a long time ago. Make a guy beat you off the bench, not a guy that's already had 4 at-bats, not a guy that's already seen 3 hours worth of action. I'm going to make a guy off the bench beat.
Here's Ryan Roberts. He has walked, he has doubled, he has scored a run, grounded out and lined out. Boy, crowd getting into this. This is fun. Inside, 1-0 the count. Well, when you fill the plate, the Diamondbacks eat like nobody else. They're the best team in the National League with the bases loaded. Slow curveball. What's going on in San Francisco? The Astros have broken free in the top of the 10th inning. They lead it 3-2 on top of the Giants. 3-2 is the score there. We'll keep an eye on it. The 1-1. Outside, 2-1.
Timeout's called by Tim Timmons, a home plate umpire.
Diamondbacks hitters this afternoon have coaxed 5 walks. The Padres, none. The 2-1. Did he?
He laid off of it.
He did not.
That's Jeff Kellogg. He's the crew chief. He said no. All right, get loud in here, D-back fans. Go ahead.
The base is loaded. The 3-1. Ball 4. Yet another 90 feet of trotting up that line. A club that has become very patient, and they cash in 5-1.
Well, that's the risk you take. Oh, yeah, ball 4. Sure. Yeah, these guys are into every pitch, aren't they? They love the fact that this crowd got loud. And that'll get to a guy that was just pitching an A ball earlier this year.
Independent League last year. Here's Aaron Hill. Outside on the corner. That's a part of the plate that hasn't existed much today. It's called a strike there.
And that will probably sit down J.J. Putz, and probably, yeah, that'll bring Zach Duke into the ballgame now because it's no longer a safe situation.
Swing and a miss, 0-2 the count. And by the way, that bases loaded walk came with 2 outs. I mean, he patiently worked it with 2 outs. Yeah, they loved him in Toronto, both these guys.
We lead the league in love.
The 0-2. Outside.
Doing the exact same pitch. This time Aaron Hill adjusted to it and was able to lay off of it.
In his career, Hill hits .293 in September once that month arrives on this next road trip. So late in the season, he has been a really good hitter. A lot of room in right center field. Inside, 2-2. What a difference a year makes. A year ago, Bud Black was in the other dugout with the other kind of noise.
Oh, yeah.
And the Diamondbacks were in the other role. The 2-2. Outside, 3-2. Let's see what this crowd has for us. Let's listen.
Come on, folks. Yeah, they're up again. This place is loud.
The 3-2 to Hill. Breaking ball, ground ball, diving play. Everybody safe, except for now. In a rundown. The throw to the plate. The tag. The inning comes to an end. That run did score. The first run did score.
Ryan Roberts is just going to run till he got tagged.
Sometimes the crowd can get you into it.
I think you got Ryan Roberts a little too much into it.
Too into it. That's exactly right.
Oh, Ryan.
Belted into right center field. And Finley is in a 3-run home run splash down.
3-0 green light right there. And here's a guy hitting about 160 at the time, and Bob Brenly gives him the green light on 3-0, and look what happens.
Well, I think, that's the confidence that he had in everybody on his team.
Exactly.
Immediately after the ball game, Mark Grace Championship Theater. So keep it right here on Fox Sports Arizona. Luis Gonzalez.
Promises to be big league.
Look forward to that. We'll keep it right here. Zach Duke takes the assignment for the 18th time this year, with the Diamondbacks leading it by a score of 6-1. Nick Hundley to lead it off. Right there, Aaron Hill, 1 out. Now keep that sweatshirt on. You just stand down there. And although he's not standing and hanging out at all, look at him. He's going down each hitter, next hitter, if in case a couple of runners get on. That's when it'll change.
1 pitch, 1 out, albeit a bullet. But Aaron Hill getting a good jump and making a nice play to his left.
The southpaw fires a strike over the outside corner to Logan Forsythe. They're going to the bottom half of inning number 10 with Houston now leading San Francisco by a score of 3-2. Curveball, a good one, but it misses low. Colorado Rockies come to town. It's a 3-game series starting tomorrow night. Outside, good take. And remember, if you're on the fence or maybe looking at your schedule, all upper deck seats for that entire series, every seat, $5.
$5. That's all.
Fouls that one off at home plate. 602-514-8400.
You can't even buy like value meals for that kind of money.
The movie's more than that.
Yeah, come on out, folks. Watch your first place Diamondbacks. Watch some good baseball.
3-2 the count. Late on that one, and it's foul as that one hugged the line. Don't forget tacos, by the way, tomorrow.
All right. What kind of sauce you having, Darren?
Well, I always like to fire on my 3 free tacos with a large drink purchase between 4 to 6. Tomorrow, ground ball, Roberts, outstretched glove, wheels, fired, got it!
He's still high energy. He makes a nice play to his left. First and foremost, just getting to it and snaring it. Then he has to make a big pirouette right there and throw a strike across the diamond to Goldschmidt. Nice play. He's still out there running the bases, isn't he?
Golly. That'll sweep that base thing away.
Fans getting up now. They're sniffing it. They're sniffing a sweep. They're wanting it.
Two and 0 the count to Andy Perino, switch hitter who earlier tonight or this afternoon picked up his first big league hit in the 7th inning. Line drive, hanging up there. The Diamondbacks sweep the San Diego Padres. They keep the pressure on the San Francisco Giants, who right now in the bottom half of the 10th inning are trailing the Astros 3-2. All you control, though, is yourself, and they controlled this one very nicely today.
Only fitting that Colin Cowgill catches the last out of the game. It was his by far finest hour as a major leaguer. And how about Ian Kennedy, Darren Sutton? Ian Kennedy putting himself in that Cy Young conversation with his 17th win of the season.
Kennedy wins number 17. That ties him with C.C. Sabathia of the New York Yankees for second in all of Major League Baseball. Verlander number 1. Sabathia and Kennedy both have 17 wins. We'll see you during the Colorado Rockies series. All upper deck seats are just $5. The Diamondbacks rock and roll, and it continues here at Chase Field. Look forward to the 3-game set, and we'll see you soon at the Ball Yard.